Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Troy Howard before the 2018 Hardrock 100. How you doing, Troy?
I'm doing great. Great day in the San Juans. A little bit of rain. Nice to see that we're finally getting rid of the fires.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue here. If anything, the surplus of rain might be more of an issue than...
Yeah. Huge kudos, though, go out to the firefighters that came from all over the country to really just make sure and protect our lands. And I think that's a big reason we're able to run the race this year.
For sure. Yeah, it was, I don't know if the general public knows, but it was definitely in question of whether this race was going to happen at all.
Yeah. You kind of keep your training focused, but you're in the back of your mind, you always have to start contingency planning. But I always said, we've got a lot of heroes in this country, and one way or another, I had a feeling that we'll be running the race. So.
Yeah. Well, if there's quiet heroes in ultra running, you might be one of them. Because you've had some great success here. I mean, you have 2 seconds at Hardrock. You've got a 5th.
Yeah.
And it just seems like you do a lot of your racing at Colorado, and this is a focus. What draws you to Hardrock in particular?
I think Hardrock is one of those events that for anybody that's come and either participated in it, volunteered, or have heard of it and read about it, I think it means something different for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't know exactly if I could articulate it in a way that would do it justice, other than it's the most special event that I feel that I can participate in, certainly at this point in my life and probably ever. And so I just feel fortunate every year I get to be a part of it. And that's how I felt the first year, and that's how I feel again this year. And, it's tough. It's like, it's a test of toughness, I'd say. Yeah. Physical, mental, emotional. And if you don't have 100% toughness, you're going to have a hard time out here.
Well, for the first time in your 4 attempts, the last time you were here in 2016, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't tough enough. I mean, I can give you a whole bunch of excuses that friends, family, even myself that I came up with, but at the end of the day, I wasn't tough enough to keep going. And so, this year it's been, after taking last year off and really helping my wife Pam finish her first 100, which was just probably one of the highlights in general of my athletic career, is just to see, how tough you do have to be, yet exploring your limits, and just seeing how people that when you start, you may not think you have that in you, but through the right level of focus and training and commitment, that really, I think there's something to be said for everybody in life about really, really pushing your limits and uncovering all those layers of excuses and reasons why to get to that very edge is something that's not comfortable, but is so rewarding.
That must have been an interesting perspective, because you've gone through that yourself, but a while ago, and then to see it again with your wife.
Yeah. So this year it's, hey, I'm going to do my best out there, try and hold back a little bit early on, which is sort of like, everybody says that for any sort of running.
And especially Hardrock.
Yeah, especially Hardrock. Certainly think that was a little bit of a part of it, is getting a little too caught up in the front runners a couple years ago. And this year, getting into your mid-40s, I'm no Jeff Browning that the older you get, the younger you seem to feel.
Yeah.
He's got something special that, I don't know if I have it. I just want to have a great day in the San Juans and just to make the most of it and have fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is a race that, more and more you see at a Western States or a UTMB. It's kids, it's folks in their 20s or early 30s that are really dominating. But here, experience and age doesn't seem to be a problem.
No, I think and a lot, with a handful of exceptions of folks that are younger in age that have done exceptionally well. By and large, it must be percentage-wise 95% of the finishers are seasoned veterans. They've been doing a lot of different things, whether it's formal events or other really extreme events that really test your limits. And I think those are the folks that, one, really have set the foundation for what Hardrock is, and so much of it is just appreciation that you were able to do this in an environment like this. And then two, they're just able to gut through sort of the things that are new to people just getting into it, where you really have to power through and get yourself out of some pretty dark places.
What is the darkest place you've been during a hard rock, or that you've got yourself out of? Let's put it that way.
You know, so I don't remember which year it was. It was definitely in the other direction. Just really, really not feeling good through the first 40 or 50 miles. And then I remember actually it was, I got to the top of Engineer and it started to rain. And there was something about the cool rain that kind of just flipped everything for me. So while, you know, I think people might be dreading the rain, I think on a course like Hardrock, the last thing you want is heat, which is also what we had in 2016.
I'm glad to hear you say it. Xavier said it, and I felt it for sure coming out of you, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you know, that's kind of like that persistent, you know, you'll have short durations of tough spots, but like when it really persists for 10s and 20 miles, that can be hard to get yourself out of.
But you did.
Yeah.
And how did you? Just toughed your way through it, or how did you?
Well, you know, there isn't really an option to drop at the top of Engineer, so you kind of kept telling yourself that.
Yeah.
And that, you know, if you really want to quit, hey, buddy, you got to find your
but then you're down in Grouse a couple miles later, and there's Handy's Peak over there. Like, it would be really easy to drop at Grouse.
Yeah, and that's what I did a couple of years ago. Was I dropped at Grouse? It's just like, you know, I didn't have it in me mentally, and just the toughness factor wasn't there.
So last year you took the year off from running ultras. You did a little cycling, but how does that have you feeling this year? Like, what was it like taking that year off, and how are you now? Yeah,
as you can expect, I ski a lot during the winter, and so I don't do a lot of running. And so when January, February came around, I was all my workouts were really hard, and I was really slow. so it took me a few months to really dig out of a lack of fitness from running hole. And I don't know, like, you know, I've raced a few times this year, more for training, but you know, there's a few notches that are still missing from, you know, certainly when I was in my late 30s. I feel great. I feel like every workout I did this year, every workout I planned, I did, and then a little bit extra. So, you know, the speed felt like in general was overall a little bit lower, but you know, you never know. It'd be great to have the same sort of question after Hardrock, because then you really know, like, did it work or not?
Yeah.
I always have a lot of, you know, self-doubt. Like, maybe I should have done this a little bit more, a little bit less.
I mean, if you're at the start line of Hardrock and you don't have doubt, like, something's probably wrong.
Well, I think there's some seasoned veterans here that just know what it takes, and probably have the confidence to know, because they've done it enough times. But I think there's always it's good to be anxious in these sorts of certainly a Hardrock. You can't be overconfident. There's just so many things that can be thrown your way, that all the planning and everything that you do, you know, you really have to be able to adapt.
So you had a high frequency of racing Hardrock, and then you had 2 years that, you know, 1 year you didn't finish, last year you didn't race. Do you have a little extra excitement coming back into this?
Yeah, it's a great point. You know, when I started training again, it was like, so much of it was new. It was like that, even though it was the same trail, same sort of program I put together, it was actually, I looked forward to it. And that was something I really haven't felt to that level of depth in a number of years. And so I think it's like the whole year so far has just been, everything's been so much fun. When I've gotten up high doing some training, it's just been like a whole new experience for me, which I would trade that over being a little more fit any day, just that enjoyment.
Do you think you'll feel that on the course too?
I'm hoping. So far, I mean, even yesterday I was out here, just got into town a few days ago, and it's the same feeling. It is like, just so appreciative of like the ability to be able to be out here and have this opportunity. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Troy, and best of luck out there, and show the kids how to do it.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, Brian.
Good luck.